Well, Wade has taken up the challenge of handgun hunting this season. He started the season off with a hunt that tested his patience, but in the end, he harvested a solid 9-point with his Smith & Wesson Performance Center Model 629. Well, now Wade is reaching back into his arsenal and debuting the brand new Smith & Wesson Performance Center 460 XVR handgun.
The Smith & Wesson Performance Center 460 XVR, this is a finely tuned handgun. It's got a 5-shot capacity, features a 7.5-inch barrel with a muzzle brake. The sights themselves are fiber optic from high-vis, and what basically allows you for quicker target acquisition. And for me, I'm going to be using this in tight confines, and that's really going to help a lot. Overall, I was impressed with how easy it was for me to find both my targets in the field and on the range with this exact setup. Every time I shot it, I was so comfortable with everything about this revolver. I mean, it just fit me perfectly right out of the box. You know, you may personally look at this gun and say, good God, it's gonna kick like a mule, but let me tell you, it really doesn't, thanks to several features. It's got a muzzle brake and an unfluted cylinder, and it's basically been fine-tuned for those of us out there that like these big handguns. It's got a smooth, light trigger that's gonna help you dial in your shots quickly for accuracy. And I'm telling you, if you haven't shot one of these, you need to go do it. You're gonna get addicted to it just like I did. So make sure and pick one up and take up the challenge of handgun hunting.
Wade heads out to the pop-up blind set up for the XVR's debut in the field.
We've taken a pop-up blind by Cabela's and we've pushed it into this persimmon tree. I mean, literally trim brushed around, shoved it up in there, maneuvered it around, and got it set up. And the reason why is recently there's been a lot of rain and tons of forbs and stuff popped up out there. Primarily these deer have been eating broomweed out in the middle of this big flat out in front of us. And you'll see it as we start getting out there. And they've ate most all of it down. I think they go in and nip off a lot of these flowers when they first comes up, or some little seed bud on there. But that's what a lot of these deer were primarily eating on. We took a stealth cam and set it up by a tree along one of the big trails. And we come in there, threw a little bit of corn out there so we can get them to stop as well. And got pictures of 2 really good deer and several other deer that were somewhat consistent as well. So we're gonna ease up here. The sun's gonna set back over here. The wind's cutting across here. And based on what we're seeing, when you know, with both our eyes scouting and the camera, is these deer are just milling all out there. So we'll probably see deer at all sorts of ranges. Speaking of sorts of ranges, what I'm going to be hunting with is something new from the Smith & Wesson Performance Center. This is a 460 Smith & Wesson Magnum now. They've had one of these 460s out for a long time with a bigger barrel, but this has got a lot of new features built into it, and it's something that I can't wait to get out and field test. I think it's going to be perfect for the situation that we're hunting in. Now, I know my capabilities with this gun, and it can shoot a lot farther than I'm personally capable of being able to hold. But what I've done is actually taken a sandbag and mounted it onto a tripod, for lack of a better word, for some of the longer range shots. So you may see me free-handing this for deer that are walking by, or you may see me, you know, loading it up on top of that sandbag for the deer that are out there 50 to 100 yards, because this baby has some range, and in capable hands, this thing will do some phenomenal things. So we're getting ready to go chase these whitetail around and see what'll happen. Let's hike on in.